lose who you are, you're never gonna feel good about it, because when you get to that high spot, the only thing you're gonna do is go, damn, I may be super successful, but I'm not successful. This image that I put out there is successful, so I can't even fully enjoy or appreciate what I've built here. That man. This isn't prank content, it's crime content, and he's been doing it for years. I just had to shove a condom with an SD card up my ass. I think it's time to reconsider the type of content I make. I believe all crime is bad. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, welcome back to my channel, everybody. If you know me, you know who I am. If you don't, my name is Trey Fab. I'm a React content creator. I like to make different React content, whether that be to basketball, modern NBA, and different NBA content in general. I also like to make React content to drama, TikTok, YouTube nonsense. So if you like brain rot, I'm the guy for you. And if you like basketball insight, I'm the guy for you. With that being said, today we're going to be reacting to Aubrey, the twisted tale of Vitaly. So, the reason we're going to be watching this is because I talked about Vitaly's fucking antics last week. Talked about the drama he's in with the Philippines because he's a fucking moron. So today, we're going to go ahead and get a little bit of history on the man, right? This creator created an hour-long video, so get your popcorn, get your shit. If you know me, you know I'm a yapper. If you don't know me, even with this sped up at 1.25, this probably going to be damn near a 2-hour video. So get your popcorn, get your snacks, get your water, and let's go ahead and sit down and watch this shit. You know, we got the history of Johnny Somali, doing an internet anarchist, so let's get the history of Vitaly.
Oh, can somebody connect me to Wi-Fi? Yes, we're live. We're back, guys. I'm so sorry for the delay.
This man posits his identity as a performer.
Now, this has to be illegal. I don't even know if the evidence they've collected will even be usable.
Whoever wants to fucking hate because I'm back on top can suck my fucking big uncircumcised.
Apparently this guy's in Vitaly. I want to take a moment here to explore a long-forgotten art form of content creation, the prank video. You may not see it as much these days, but understand the prank video once served as the quickest and easiest way to becoming an overnight viral sensation. If you were willing to abandon any semblance of decency, that is. During the height of this era, fedora-touting hipsters were the artists, a 720p camera was the paintbrush, and an otherwise peaceful public park was the canvas. It was an unholy combination of circumstances that produced such wonderful titles as Flashing Children Prank, Breaking Strangers' Phones,
Flashing children prank is crazy. I don't. Hey guys, you want to see me commit a crime on camera? Like, that's... Prank videos have gotten to the point that's all it is. That's all it is. Like, I remember, I talked about this in my last video, but we talked about Tanner Cook. I remember when that dropped and so many people said, bro, like, he's funny, so why should it matter if he's doing stuff that may be illegal? And it's like, damn. Is that the society we're living in now, where it doesn't even matter if a crime was committed or not? It doesn't even matter if someone's a nuisance to somebody else. It's the fact that it's funny. As long as it's funny, who cares? Damn, bro. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and become fucking Diddy defenders or Diddy offenders because it's funny. Funny for the lols.
Prank and Bloody Body in Suitcase Prank. Those last two were actually made by the same guy. Shout out to highly esteemed former congressional candidate Joey Salads. The version of YouTube we all know and loved in the 2010s introduced us to a new archetype of attention-seeking maniacs, many of whom we're still having to put up with all these years later. But not him. We are doing a video on FouseyTube, but at least not yet. Today, I want to direct your attention towards a different craftsman of sorts, a pioneer in an ecosystem of professional pranksters whose psychotic adventures seem to extend far beyond the bounds of the computer screen. A controversial Russian influencer who rose to shocking prominence, then lost it all, only to gain it right back again thanks to the career-saving entity known only as Kick.com. This man's online trajectory is truly one of a kind. Join me today in exploring the tragic, chaotic, and seemingly never-ending chronicles of VitalyzdTv. But before any of that, I do want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, Delete Me. Not many people know that your personal information can be bought over the internet by pretty much anyone. Believe it or not, shady data brokers exist, and they are more than willing to sell all of your privacy in order to make a quick buck, increasing your risk of being doxxed or harassed or stalked, you know, things that I don't want to happen to you or myself. Having a customized dashboard with a list of sites they have removed my data from has really helped put into perspective just how at risk I was before signing up for an account. With Delete Me, I can keep track of all sorts of valuable information, like where my name, my age, my height, which is very tall by the way, or my address had been posted without me even being aware of it, reducing your risk of identity theft or getting caught up in phishing scams. It just makes life easier, and you can actually join too. All you have to do is click the link in the description below or go to joindeleteme.com/Jobry and use code Jobry at checkout for 20% off all consumer plans. That's joindeleteme.com/Jobry, promo code Jobry. Huge thanks again.
His name is Jobry? I thought his name was J. Aubrey. What the fuck?
And to all the wonderful people over at Delete Me for keeping our information safe and sponsoring this video. That's the most important thing. As long as he can remember, Vitaly Zdrojevsky always wanted his name up in lights. Born in Murmansk, Russia, just north of the Arctic Circle on March 8th, 1992, Vitaly once lived under a different set of lights before moving with his mother to Odessa, Ukraine on the Black Sea. He was just 7 years old when he first watched the Terminator movies, which he considers an early inspiration for an undying passion to entertain the masses, which would follow him throughout his adolescence.
I'll be back.
I wanted to act. I wanted to move to America and be in the movies.
Moving to the west side of Florida at age 14, Vitaly attended Park Vista High School in Boca Raton, where he trained to become a pro skateboarder until an unfortunate injury rendered such dreams unattainable. But Vitaly always had a rebellious streak. The first time he ever got arrested was at 16. After getting drunk at a water park, he apparently cut the cue for a slide and grabbed his crotch through his swim trunks, telling a lifeguard to suck his dick when he got in trouble.
What was the first time you ever went to jail? Was it making videos?
No, it's indecent exposure. I was 16 years old, and then the lifeguard on the bottom lean over the railings, and he goes, "You need to calm down now." I'm like, I grab my hand, my crotch through the pants, I'm like, "Suck my dick." I can barely speak English. That's all I know. The guy told the cops I whooped out my dick.
He maintains he never pulled his dick out of his trunks, even if the lifeguard claimed he did. Vitaly, however, would whip it out on a different occasion. Shortly after his 18th birthday, the young wannabe star was offered the biggest role of his life in a Bang Bros video. Strapped for cash and in desperate search of a way into the entertainment business, Vitaly accepted. But when the Viagra he popped failed to get the job done, Vitaly determined the adult film industry wasn't for him.
I'm glad.
Why do you need Viagra that young? What do you mean? You're 18 years old. Like, let me tell you something, okay? I am not in the best shape of my life. But I promise you, I can get it up. All I need to do is look at the pictures of y'all mom, and I'm ready to go. But in all seriousness, though, that's not good. You should not be taking any type of sexual enhancement medicine at the age of 18 years old. If that's going on, you should be seeing a doctor. Or this is going to be a giant leap, guys. Just bear with me. I have nothing against you if you are gay. Nothing against you if you are gay. That's fine. I'm cool with you. 2025, brother. Brothers in arms, okay? But if you were part of a, flick, a little adult film, and you were in a room with another woman and you could not get it up with that woman there, I'm just going to be honest, Vitaly. Your attraction may be in another direction. Or there could be other factors such as, he's just not ready to go on camera. Maybe. Camera shy. Could be. But I'm just saying, Vitaly, you might have some other things you need to be thinking about. Is that the problem? This man has just been sexually frustrated and not understanding of what he's attracted to. So he just fights that urge every single day to really accept himself. So he's just a nuisance and does ridiculous shit to kind of push himself aside so people don't see the real side of him, which is, could be a gay man. Is that the issue? Could that be the issue, Vitaly? Is that true?
I didn't perform well because if I did, I would have been a porn star till today. And that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a movie star, not a fucking porn star. In the end, was it worth it? Totally.
Nonetheless, he did.
I wanted to be a movie star, not a corn star. So now I'm a nuisance to society getting arrested in the Philippines because I'm a disgusting human being. That seems like a decent jump for him. I don't understand how he can have such ambition to be something, pretty good, a movie star, and how he settles for that. Like, how is your goal up here? We all settle in life, right? We all settle in life, whether it be with our jobs, whether it be with what we end up eating during the day, what we end up doing during the day, who we end up dating. Like, I settle for your guys' moms, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to Vitaly, right? His settlement was this, like, oh, I want to be a movie star, but instead let me be an old man committing crimes on the internet for kids' attention? That's what you settled for?
What he needed to do. He took the bag and moved him and his mother out to Los Angeles, distancing them both from her physically abusive husband. Vitaly has gone on the record to describe his stepfather as nothing short of belligerent. Witnessing domestic abuse up close, Vitaly often found himself the target of the violence as well.
If I drink a cup of tea and I didn't put a cup in the dishwasher, oh, he would beat me. It was bad. And then my mom, I had to see my mom get beat up. I did what I could. I stood up for her, but he was just unstoppable.
Vitaly never had the smoothest.
I mean, that's sad. No one should have to go through shit like that. I know, I did not have the best as far as, like, family life growing up. I didn't have to deal with any domestic abuse. That's not it. But I had my birth mom just didn't want to be in my life. She dipped. And then my dad, my dad was the type of guy that's like, you guys want to play hide and seek? And it's like, yeah. And my dad was like, okay, let's play hide and seek. You go hide, I seek. And then 5 hours later, I'm sitting there giggling like, he's having a hard time finding me in this spot when he really wasn't looking in the first place. But when it comes to shit when you're younger, it can lead you to do stupid shit when you're older. Trust me, I've done some shit as I got older that I regret doing, that I regret saying. I pushed relationships away. I pushed friendships away. I've even hurt family members because of things I've said and things I've done. But one thing I learned is as you get older, you may have gone through rough shit. And he's probably gone through rough shit. Like I said, I didn't deal with domestic violence. I mean, my dad was not the best dad. And he may have been violent towards me. But I didn't have to see any domestic violence, mainly because he was barely in my life to begin with. And I'm not going to accuse my dad of doing shit like that, you know? He was a piece of shit towards me. He definitely put hands on me at times. He's a piece of shit. My dad was definitely a piece of shit. But I'm not gonna add more to it to make him seem worse than I think he already is. Never seen him put hands on a woman. Never seen him do anything like that, so that could be different. That could be different than me, because even though my dad didn't, like, beat the shit out of me, guys, by the way. I mean, he put his hands on me, and it was bad, but not like broken bones or anything like that. He was just a bad dad. A really strict dad, and barely in my life. So there's that, but I never had to see him, like, hit a woman. And even when he would hit me, it would be chest area, okay? That's where he would hit me, and it would be once. And again, not excusing my father's behavior for him striking a kid, alright? That's not okay. It doesn't matter if it's one punch. Still bad. But I took that trauma and I did terrible things because of it. But just because you've been through trauma doesn't make it acceptable to treat people any sort of way. It's what I'm trying to get at with all my yapping here, right? So if you guys have been through some terrible shit, talk to people. That's what I've done. Talk to people. Vent about it. Go to therapy. Therapy is not a bad thing, you know? I was able to talk to my wife, vent to her, let everything out. I had to make sure I was healed before I was able to take care of her. Okay? And that means more than just healing from trauma. Is healing from trauma that I may have caused because of trauma that was caused to me. The train has to stop somewhere, right? So if you want to cause trauma, if you had trauma caused to you, you're more likely than someone else to cause trauma to someone else because it was caused to you, and the train's just going to continue. But at some point, you got to tell yourself the train stops with me. It doesn't matter if I've been through some shit. It doesn't matter if I've been through shit that nobody should go through, because nobody should go through that. It doesn't make it acceptable for me to put other people through some shit, you know? So that's all I got to say with that. He may have been through terrible shit, and I do feel bad about that. But it does not give you the excuse to be a disgusting piece of shit to people around you. Fix yourself. Heal. You're 30 years old, dude. At some point, you gotta heal. and realize what you're doing is not okay. Grow up.
Upbringing, but relocating to the West Coast marked a new beginning. After working a series of odd jobs here and there, Vitaly was eventually promoted from busboy to waiter, where he silently hoped that a famous movie director would soon come around and discover him. But when this never happened, Vitaly heroically chose to take matters into his own hands.
I started a YouTube channel. When I first started YouTube, it was super hard. I got 63 subscribers in like 3 or 4 months. It was horrible.
This was 2011, and Justin Bieber had just been discovered via YouTube a few years prior. Vitaly understood the potential YouTube offered. The prospect of turning yourself into an overnight viral success had just been made available to anyone with a camera and a little bit of talent. So he took his shot. Vitaly would post for about 3 to 4 months without seeing any modicum of success though, and after a while, his optimism began to shrink. He even considered giving up on the venture entirely until one very peculiar video. A video that would change the trajectory of his life as he knew it. On June 3rd, 2012, his Miami zombie attack prank went viral, racking up an extraordinary 33 million views as of today. But to understand its massive popularity, we're gonna need some context.
Before we get to the context real quick, I just want to speak to anybody who may be watching my video, anybody who may be getting into content creation. I'm making no money right now. I don't make a single dime making these videos. Right now, I do this because it's a hobby. That's how you should be treating YouTube content creation. I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying don't try. I'm not saying don't put in effort. I'm going to Vegas here. This is my last video I'm making before I head out to Vegas. We're going to Vegas here with my wife. We saved up. We're finally going on a honeymoon after about 1.5 years of marriage. And I'm going to take videos and shit as well. Just upload. It's all I can tell you guys. Just upload. I'm at 181 subscribers, and I love every single one of you for being here. I never look at my views and subscribers and go, damn, that's not enough. I go, damn, I'm happy I got it. Because my videos, some will do really fucking amazing. They'll be like, oh, 1,000 views. That's fucking amazing. And then sometimes it'll be like 10, 7, 11, 5. And then sometimes it'll be fucking great again. 100, 500, 600, and then back down. 5. 10, 12. It's always like I can literally show you my charts on my YouTube. It's a roller coaster, up down, up down, up down. People watch my shit, people watch my shit, people don't, people don't, people do, people do, people don't. You know? And I never thought I would hit 100, but then I hit it. I never thought I would hit 120, but then I hit it. I never thought I'd hit 150, but then I hit it. Now I'm at the point where I'm at 181, and even though I'm so close to 200, I don't know if I'll get there. I don't know if I'll get there, but if I do, I'm gonna be happy as fuck, and that's just gonna keep going, you know? I never thought starting this YouTube hobby shit that I'd have people actually like listening to me rant, listening to me tell them about my life, but people like genuine people. Just be yourself. If you want to do React content, do that. If you want to do IRL content, do that. Just do what makes you happy. I say I'm a React content creator, but that's not a lie. But it's not necessarily just what I want to do. That's why when I go to Vegas with my wife, guys, pay attention to my YouTube shorts in the next few days here. Because I'm just going to upload constantly. I'm probably going to upload 2 to 3 YouTube shorts a day. Not videos, because it's just going to be short videos, 2 to 3 minutes, so I don't want it to be a video, and it's not going to have much context to it. It's just going to be me walking about and showing cool shit to you guys, because I'm trying to build a community of people that I feel is actually going to enjoy me, and enjoy someone who is genuine towards them, and just going to tell them how it is, whether they agree with my opinion or not, but I will hear them out or what they have to say, but I will also not conform to what other people feel. You know, I'm just going to give you my genuine opinion on shit. And I'm also going to give you my genuine life. I'm going to show you my wife. And I'm going to show you everything. So if you're a content creator, don't feel discouraged. Keep uploading. And don't do what Vitaly does, where it's like, I got to make this drastic shift to where I'm just a disgusting nuisance and everybody loves me now. It's like, no, just be yourself. Maybe it takes months, bro. I've been doing this for 4 months and I've hit 181 subscribers. In the next 4 months, maybe I get upwards to 400. And 4 months after that, maybe I get upwards to 6. Maybe. Or maybe I don't. At some point, I understand that I gotta say, hey, this may not be working out for me and I may need to stop. But right now, I'm going to keep going. And that's all I got to tell you guys. So if you're a content creator, it's not even just content creation. If you're doing anything in life, if you can afford to do it, do it. If I couldn't afford to do this, I wouldn't be doing it. Okay? I can afford to take some time out of my day to sit down to yap about videos that I find interesting, to talk to you guys and let you know my feelings on them. I could take some time out of my day to do that. But if I didn't have the time, I wouldn't do that because I don't want it to destroy my life that I could be building in order to chase a dream. This is my dream, and maybe it blows up to something, you know? Maybe I end up making insane amount of content that's not just reaction videos, that's all types of stuff. But for now, we do this. This is my hobby. You guys are part of my hobby, and maybe in time, my hobby blows up to something special. But never, ever lose who you are to get to a great place. Because if you lose who you are, you're never going to feel good about it. Because when you get to that high spot, the only thing you're going to do is go, damn, I may be super successful, but I'm not successful. This image that I put out there is successful, so I can't even fully enjoy or appreciate what I've built here.
Just 8 days before Vitaly's video came out, authorities arrived at the MacArthur Causeway Bridge near Miami Beach to find a 31-year-old Rudy Eugene eating the face of a homeless man named Ronald Papo. Rudy, who was believed to be on bath salts at the time, had stripped down to his underwear and accused Ronald of stealing his Bible. He then began biting at the innocent man's flesh, ripping off chunks with his teeth and spitting them out onto the ground, as put by MiamiHaunts.com. He gouged Ronald's right eye out and sunk his teeth into his left eye. The attack continued for a full 18 minutes. When he refused to cease the gruesome assault, Rudy was shot dead in the street, but not before consuming over 75% of the poor man's face. A true
Nah, I'm sorry. Nah, I've seen cops waste a man, okay, because they got approached with a knife. I've seen cops waste a man because they got approached with a cell phone and they weren't sure what it was. If you're a cop and someone's tearing at my flesh and you want to wait until 75% of my face is gone before shooting them, I am suing every one of you. Are you fucking serious, bro? I'm not for, alright, taking someone's life. I'm a Batman guy. I like Batman. Do I have any Batman shit around me? Here we go. I like Batman. See that shit? Batman. I like Batman. But if someone's fucking eating me, bang, bang, brother. Go off. Go. What are you doing? Like, oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Sir, I need you to stop eating his face right now. Stop it. It's like, what? Pull the goddamn trigger. What the fuck?
Motive was never officially determined, and it turned out Rudy wasn't on bath salts at all. The only substance found in his body seemed to be marijuana, but that didn't stop it from becoming a national symbol of Miami's drug epidemic thanks to the rampant coverage that followed. The fact that the whole thing was captured on a nearby security camera only elevated its infamy. Miraculously, Ronald actually ended up surviving the attack, but required heavy surgery and spent several years in a long-term medical facility per CBS News. He was left permanently blind and without a nose. Now, a regular person would see all of this as the tragedy that it is, but a person like Vitaly, on the other hand, would see something else. The subsequent shock and paranoia that struck Miami-Dade like a tidal wave was merely an opportunity for Vitaly to make a name for himself. And so, pining for his big break on YouTube, he took it. The 3-minute video depicts a snarling Vitaly hunched over in a blood-soaked t-shirt as he hobbles around growling at people in the streets of Miami as he pretends to be some kind of zombie. Though as some commenters were quick to point out, those unfortunate enough to be featured in this video had seen the news and were not so much afraid of falling victim to a quote-unquote zombie attack as they were uneasy in the face of what seemed like yet another drug-addled cannibal similar to the one splashed across so many local headlines. But that's not the only element viewers picked up on. Vitaly also faced backlash for almost exclusively targeting Black communities, which he and his friend responded to in a follow-up.
So a lot of people actually were asking me why I'm doing the pranks only to Black people. Well, to clear it up, I mean, we did it to everybody. But, you know, as we were going through, Black people gave us the best reactions. So you know what we did? We took it an extra mile. We took it to the hood. We took it to the hood.
Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Martin Luther King Boulevard. Oh my god. You know, Vitaly, the more I learn about you, the more I feel like, yep, this guy deserves a jail cell. You are a piece of shit, aren't you, buddy? Oh, man.
There you go.
But this was far from the only prank to land Vitaly in hot water. During his exploits, he would also be arrested for impersonating an officer, after baselessly accusing several black men of a fake robbery on one occasion, ticketing them for their pants being too low, and humiliating them by making the men walk around a pole saying that they didn't do it in order for him to believe them. In a separate incident, he walks up to a random car, asks if the driver has weed on him, then gets them to step out of the vehicle for a pat down. He's not a cop, okay, mind you, he's just a normal
That is, I'm sorry, but this is what I'm talking about. This man has been doing this crime content, because that's what it is. This isn't prank content, it's crime content, and he's been doing it for years. This is so annoying, and it makes me upset that he has such a impressionable audience that watches his shit because they're like, this is funny, this is cool, and this is fun. It's like, bro, at some point, grow up. Like, come on, man. And this is what I was telling you guys earlier, as far as like blowing up and having a fake image is not good. It's just not. I could blow up tomorrow. I could. You guys could see me open my phone. I not reacting to anything, and I just I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. I'm flying there. And when I get to Vegas, I could just do despicable shit. I could do prank shit, or I could just be a fucking nuisance to people. I might blow up from that. I might. That's not me. I'm not that piece of shit. So I can't speak for Vitaly. I can't. I don't know the guy. He may be putting on this facade, this image. I know that when we saw him get locked up in the Philippines, we saw him joke around when they were playing his videos and shit like that. And maybe he is someone who actually loves all this. But I feel like when he's sitting there in his jail cell, he's going, damn, this is where my life is. Like, this is Vitaly. This is what I am. Except this is not what I am. This is what I put out there so I can get money. But this is all I've done for so long that it's become who I am. And now I'm dealing with the consequences of that. Even though I wanted to be, keep in mind, he wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be a movie star. That's what he wanted to be. And instead, he's a joke for everyone to point and laugh at, and we're going to forget about in the next year. That's it.
That is normal, doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sense, I guess. Vitaly would also become known to law enforcement for instigating bomb threats. His Russian hitman 60 Seconds prank, for example, involved him in character as the fictional hitman Dmitri walking up to random strangers in public. He would drop an ominous black suitcase down in front of them and offer a menacing warning.
Your life, your choice. 60 seconds.
This would understandably cause people to panic, scattering in all different directions, giving Vitaly the precise reaction he had been looking for. Now, Vitaly claims the suitcase was actually filled with money, and if only people weren't such pussies and didn't run away, they would have discovered that for themselves.
People are pussies. Your life, your choice. Do you want to take the risk, or are you going to live in fear? Open the suitcase. There's real money inside. Wow. Everybody ran. Everybody.
But I'm not too sure the experiment worked that way. When a stranger drops a suitcase in front of you and strongly implies there's a bomb inside, can you really blame them for not wanting to touch it? The natural response would be to run away. In fact, one 51-year-old military veteran featured towards the end of the video gave Vitaly a little bit more than he had bargained for. Convinced the suitcase contained explosives, the understandably startled man chased Vitaly through a parking lot before police arrived to arrest the Russian prankster and his cameraman on felony bomb hoax charges. Although his upload didn't contain any of the raw audio from the event, news reports from 2012 state that the man shouted at Vitaly to turn his camera off, to which he reportedly assured him it was off. Lying, of course, the footage is still up on his channel with 18 million views, the man's face left uncensored. Although Boca Raton officers defended the veteran's response, Vitaly complained to the Sun Sentinel that the bomb squad came. Can you believe that? Yeah, I can. It's kind of the most believable outcome if you're not an idiot. The vet, for his part, was quoted by The World as saying, "I was already having a bad day, and then you motherfuckers come over here and make it worse." As he later said on a podcast, though, Vitaly was already on the run in Key West for having a fake ID, and eventually landed himself in jail for 60 days, where he did not jerk off for 45 of those days. I don't know why that was important, but he mentioned it in the interview, and I would be sorely remiss if I didn't include it here.
Spent 60 days in jail, didn't jerk off for 45, then I did jerk off while I was making food in the kitchen, didn't wash my hands because everybody deserved my babies. So.
Do you ever, like, just think about what you're saying and go, man, I just said that? I'm so curious with Vitaly. Does he ever just sit there and go, man, those words just came out of my mouth? That's what I just sat here and talked about how I didn't jerk off for 45 days. I jerked off for 15. Left it on my hands because I wanted other people to have my babies. You're so weird. You're so weird. You're so gross. It doesn't make sense. I truly don't understand how people like this continue to blow up, but it continues to happen. You know what? Let me rephrase that. I understand. I just don't get why they don't understand it. If you ask someone like Vitaly, if you ask someone like Jack Doherty, if you ask someone like Neon, if you ask someone like Johnny Somali, if you ask all these guys why they blow up, why are they big, why are you here? They delude themselves and lie to themselves to the point of maybe even believing it, to saying, I blew up because I worked hard to get where I'm at and I'm making content that people want to see. That's not true. Did you work hard? Maybe. I'm not even going to try to take that away from you, because I mean, you still got to go record the videos, edit them, whatever the case may be. You may be working hard in a sense as far as that goes. But are you making content that people want to see? The general public? Absolutely not. The general public doesn't even know who you are. The general public doesn't give a fuck about you. And the general public thinks you're a nuisance, disgusting, and annoying. You're making content for children. That's it. When I was a kid, one of my favorite shows that I used to watch all the time that I thought was fucking hilarious, and to this day I still gotta do, Billy and Mandy. Loved it. I loved Ridiculousness. That was funny. Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. Funny as hell. I could keep going with shows. SpongeBob. Hilarious. The reason these shows were funny is because they were flashy. Random shit would happen. Pop, pop, pop. In my face. And as a kid, when pop, pop, pop shit would happen, people get hurt, shit like that, I'd find it funny. The older I got, even though I can look back on those shows and have fond memories of them, I go, damn, I'm an older guy now. I want shit with more meat on the bone. I want more nuance. I want more, quote-unquote, boring shit that I would accuse my mom of watching. Just regular TV shows. And when I say my mom, by the way, there was a person that raised me. She's not related by blood. She's not related by marriage. She dated my father. And since my father wasn't barely in my life, she's the one that raised me. So she's my mom. That's completely besides the point, but I do want you guys to realize when it comes to family, this is completely besides the point. When it comes to family, though, it does not matter if they're blood. What matters is if they take care of you. That woman just dated my dad and was going to break up with my dad. She told me that. She was going to break up with my dad and leave him, but she realized how terribly he treated me, so she stayed while my dad abandoned me because my birth mom abandoned me as well. She raised me. She took care of me. That's my mom, right? So I just want to throw that out there, guys. Family does not mean blood. Family is people that take care of you when they really didn't have. She had no reason to. No, she had no reason to, but she did. I just want to give her a shout out because even though this is random and out of nowhere, I gotta give her a shout out. But let's get back to what I was saying real quick, and then we'll keep going with the video. What I'm getting at, right, is I made fun of her for the shows she would watch and be like, this shit's boring, blah, blah, blah. And the older I got, I would watch the same exact shows. More story-building shit. More shit that isn't just pop, pop, pop. Because I'm older now, so I like shit that actually stimulates my mind, and not just something that's just going to be right in my face, boom, boom, boom. Something that actually makes me think, something that actually makes me feel, something that gives emotion. So that's why these guys are big. That's why these guys are huge. You're not big because you're talented. You're not big because you're quote-unquote working hard. You're big because the only people that watch you is children, and if you took all the children off the sites, you guys would have no money.
But unlike his suitcase, Vitaly's channel would very much explode. Upon returning home from the slammer, Vitaly saw his sub count skyrocket up to 5 million by the beginning of 2014. His pranks took the algorithm by storm, climbing the ranks of mainstream stardom along with his contemporaries Roman Atwood and FouseyTube. The trio would end up making quite a bit of content together, with Vitaly and Roman actually teaming up at one point for a part 2 of the infamous zombie cannibal prank that we all loved so much. Their collaborative endeavors would eventually reach a zenith in 2016 with the critically panned film Natural Born Pranks Youngsters, which currently sits at a tepid 3.6 out of 10 on IMDb. I'm just gonna be honest with you, I did not watch this movie in preparation for this video. I'm sorry, after seeing the trailer and skimming the Wikipedia synopsis, I think I'm just better off not wasting 90 minutes of my time on an unfunny Jackass ripoff. Life is simply too short, and as I've learned from Vitaly, it is my life, my choice. What Vitaly chose to do with his life is go streaking on numerous occasions, including at the 2014 World Cup, the 2016 NBA Finals, the 2017 World Series, and the Cricket World Cup in 2019. Just kidding, that last one was actually his mom. Further confirmation that the apple doesn't fall fucking far. Still, despite all of these stunts, Vitaly continued.
What did I say? What did I say? Okay? Show me a terrible, terrible child, and I can show you, for the most part, a terrible parent. I was lucky enough to have my grandma in my life. I was lucky enough to have my mom, the woman that raised me when she didn't even have to, in my life, when both my parents abandoned me. I was lucky to have my grandfather in my life, who was a father figure to me. I was lucky to have that. They raised me well, and I feel like, for the most part, I'm a decent guy. I think I'm all right. I'm an okay guy. I'm an okay guy. But you show me a terrible, terrible person, for the most part, I can show you a bad parent. Either that or a lack of parent.
Crashed through impressive milestones throughout the 2010s, generating widespread press and even becoming Justin Bieber's favorite YouTuber as of 2015. In a sort of weird full circle moment, Vitaly finally earned his diamond play button when he surpassed 10 million subscribers in 2020, bringing in the new year with an exuberant trip to Giza, where he would film himself climbing the Great Pyramids, which, in case you weren't aware, is a very big no-no in terms of legality. And trust me, the Egyptian police are very much the kind that you don't want to piss off. Vitaly knew this, but much like the rest of his career, opted for the route that gave him more views and money. Almost immediately, though, he realized how futile this idea really was.
I just ran, and I ran on the wrong side. I ran in the blocks where they fade. So I started sliding it down. And I look back, I'm like, I'm not gonna die, but I'll break a leg or two. So I started like doing like this with my nails to the big blocks that more spread open, and I started running. And you just hear whistles, people screaming at me, and the guy started chasing me.
It was here that Vitaly had to make a very tough decision. Egyptian authorities were quickly closing in on him, and he figured that once he was taken into custody, his camera equipment would be confiscated, and the prized footage may never see the light of day. So Vitaly, being the true entertainer he is, decided to take matters into his own hands, or anus. Pulling out a condom that he just conveniently had with him, I guess, Vitaly slipped the memory card out of the camera and into its new rubber home, before shoving the condom all the way back up his own ass. It was a last-ditch effort to make sure the footage would be recovered in the event that police refused to give his equipment back, which resulted in Vitaly not pooping for the next 5 days he spent in jail.
So I don't poop for 5 days, right? Because I was waiting to get out of jail. So they put me in jail.
Hang on, you were in there for 5 days.
5 days.
But one person can only stand by for so long before nature runs its course, and finally, Vitaly released the condom from its restful hiding place. But he quickly discovered that while the condom remained intact, the memory card was suddenly and miraculously gone without it.
Good. Oh, man, good. God is good. God is good all the time. This man had to hold in his fucking he had to hold in his shit for 5 days, make his fucking digestive system work overtime, hoping and praying. Now, obviously, he got the footage by somehow. He might have just got his fucking equipment back or whatever the case may be. But he had to hold in his shit for 5 days just for him to pull that condom out and go, damn, it's gone. Oh, man, you deserve that. You deserve that shit, boy. You deserve it.
Trace.
I go poop, 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 pee, poop. The condom comes out, but the SD cards are gone.
Huh?
I don't know.
I can tell you, I've never once wondered the pH level of someone's asshole before, but the fact that Vitaly's colon managed to somehow dissolve a memory card should probably be studied in a lab. Bro absorbed the footage into his bloodstream and is playing it back in his brain for all I know. I have no idea what the fuck could happen to that thing. But the grand irony is that he didn't even need to do all of that. Not only did the police return his equipment in the end, Vitaly had managed to successfully send the footage off to his editor while still on top of the pyramid before being taken into custody. He didn't need to shove it into his asshole, he just wanted to do that.
That checks. That checks. Vitaly didn't need to do something. Did it anyway because he's Vitaly. He has no brain cells left in his side of his skull. He stopped aging at the age of 12 mentally, and ever since then, because this sounds like something a child would do. This sounds like something an 11, 12-year-old kid would do. I shoved it up my ass. Why? You quite literally, we were going to give you back your cameras. I don't know. Just in case. Like, it just doesn't, it makes no comprehensible sense. I know if you're sitting here right now and you're listening to this and you're over the age of like 16, you're probably going, damn, This guy sounds like a moron. How did he blow up? And again, it's because he knows how to relate to people his mental age. That's it. And this is what I continue to say. If you're going to do this content creation shit, just be yourself. Maybe you blow up when you're being yourself. Maybe you don't at all. But one thing you can say and one thing you can continue to do is when you're making this content, you can go, damn, I was myself in the end. That's all that matters. And if you blow up and you're being yourself, damn, it feels great. I know I'm going to feel great if that happens. And if you don't, at least you can say, I was just me. I've always been me, and I've never switched up for nobody, and I didn't put a condom up my ass with an SD card. I feel like once that happened, Vitaly should have took, if he was any type of mature, acting his age in any type of way, he should have took a step back and went, I just had to shove a condom with an SD card up my ass. I think it's time to reconsider the type of content I make.
Factor authentication wasn't needed after all. The two factors, of course, being his ass cheeks. I shouldn't have to tell you that Vitaly was deported back to the States and blacklisted from ever returning to Egypt again. If nothing else, they were probably afraid of his radioactive ass contaminating the city or something, I don't know. But I do know that this entire debacle, getting dumped by his girlfriend, slipping into excessive drug and alcohol use, and an impending pandemic, all spelled bad news for what would become a catastrophic year.
Why do you keep coughing? Because you're what? A mushroom? That makes you cough? Oh, I didn't know that was a side effect.
On the evening of April 12th, 2020, Lily Jensen was out on a casual jog heading eastbound on Daytonia Road when she was suddenly ambushed by a badly inebriated Vitaly. By his own account, he had just ingested 60 grams of mushrooms back at his house, around 17 times what the average person normally takes, just for perspective. As he told Roman Atwood in 2022, he began hearing voices in his head and was convinced there were snipers up on the roof wanting to kill him. He had run out of his house and out towards the beach, but when he was unable to escape these hallucinations, he returned back to the neighborhood. As stated in a police report, Vitaly spotted Lily and intentionally impeded her path forward. She tried to move around him, it says, but Vitaly began approaching her with an open arms gesture as if to grab her. This frightened Lily, as she did not know what this strange man was trying to do, and began pleading with him to leave her alone. Still, he advanced forward, and before she could escape, Vitaly violently threw himself on top of the defenseless woman, pinning her to the ground with his full body weight and straddling her as she laid flat on her back. This is when Vitaly began incessantly punching Lily in the face and chest with a closed fist. She began crying out, which summoned several eyewitnesses who later attested to the brutality firsthand. I'm gonna play some of the 911 call, but I will let you know there is a trigger warning here for distressing content, so feel free to skip to the timestamp on screen now if you'd rather not listen.
Somebody's outside beating the out of somebody. Lock your doors and windows and do not let the person in. Are there any weapons involved? No. No, he's just beating the out of somebody. Okay. Female on the ground. He was punching her in the face left and right. Okay. The female's in our driveway. I'm just beating the out of a girl. The male, is he white or black? White. They're both white. A white guy with blondish hair, wearing no t-shirt and young shorts. He's got blood all over her.
Once enough people showed up, the report states Vitaly retreated into his home, where he was soon arrested by Miami PD. The aftermath was all documented via body cam footage.
Put your hand on the car, man. No, put your hand on the car. Lean on the car, please. Lean on the car, right there. Hey, right here. Okay.
Can you do us a favor? Can you do us a favor and wait for us over there, please? Can you do us that favor?
The only thing I have to say about this entire situation is I already had very low views of Vitaly. I thought he was a child. At this point, I don't even think he's a child. I think he's a disgusting piece of shit. I don't understand how he even has a platform. And what I told you guys earlier about the only people watching him is children stands. I believe in second chances, and I believe people can fix themselves, but I also believe there has to be actions for your consequences. Does he deserve the chance to fix himself after doing this disgusting, terrible attack? Yes. Does he deserve a platform, though, moving forward? No, I feel like you don't deserve that anymore. Why? Why do you? You're making more money, in some cases, in a week than some people are making in a year by making the type of content you make. It doesn't matter if it's good content, bad content, whatever the case may be. You're making a shit ton of money by making content. People are putting money into your pockets while they're going out and doing jobs that you probably would cry and end up in deep depression because you would have to do it for a few days, and they do it for a lifetime. And you should sit up there with more money than people like that and get this stature that other people who work harder than you may never see because what? It's because you deserve it. You don't deserve it, though. No one's saying you have to be perfect. Trust me, every rich person isn't. But if you do a disgusting act like this, I feel like your platform and your right to get money is gone. Fix yourself, work on yourself, go ahead. That's fine. But this isn't like you were 17, 16 years old, right? If you were anywhere between the ages of like 16 and we'll say to like, we'll say 16 to like 19. 16 to 19, and this happened, all the same shit, you were on drugs, whatever the case may be, could you have a platform still? I'm going to say it's possible. I would fully understand why people wouldn't watch you, though. But I can say it's possible. That happened 16 to 19, and let's say you're now 25, 26, 27. You've been on the up and up. You've donated to this woman, whoever you jumped and punched the shit out of. You gave her a shit ton of money. You paid for restitution. You paid for her college. You know, you said, hey, I gave her like this money, but money's never going to be enough when it comes to what I did and what I did to her. Money will never be enough for my actions, and I truly am sorry. And you do come off apologetic, and people believe you. I think that's fine, but you weren't. You weren't. This was back in 2020. You were born in 92, so you would have been, fuck, I hate math. 20 would have been 2000, minus 8 would be 28. So you were 28 years old when you did this? You're not a kid. You're a grown-ass man. You're not even like a young man where you can say, oh, well, I was like 19, 20 at least. No, you're a grown-ass man. And again, even if someone was 16 to 19 that did this, we would still give them shit for it. We would still be angry at them. But we would allow them over time to learn from their mistakes, and they could have a platform. Maybe. You know, I would have to sit there and think on it, because obviously didn't think people like this even had a platform to begin with, so I'd have to think on it. But I can understand why they did, because you know what, 16 to 19, and if they actually were apologetic and everything I said before, okay. But you're 28. You're 28, and as far as I can tell, I highly doubt you're fucking apologetic. You're such a disgusting fucking person. And that's just my opinion. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's why I feel like he blew up. Because if you're my age, or even over the age of 18, and you just heard that, and you just saw that, you're not watching this guy. You're not watching this guy. You're like, oh, fuck, this guy can go fuck himself. 28-year-old man beating on someone, drugged up or not, you're beating on some fucking stranger, pinning them down for what? Because you're too fucking high and too fucking immature to be responsible with drug use? Go suck a dick.
Put your hands back. I told you. Put your hands back.
Hey, let me get another cup, bro.
I won't show you what Lily's face looked like immediately after the attack, but photos released by TMZ show the entire right side of her face completely swollen. Her right eye was severely damaged to the point that she needed stitches. The intensity of this beating should really be emphasized. This was a vicious attack that frankly she could have died from. It didn't take long for Vitaly to post a $7,500 bond, and it also wasn't long before Lily filed a civil suit against her attacker and his corporation. Because all of this was immediately made public, news spread quickly, and Vitaly—
Hold on. Let's go back and see the lawsuit if we can.
It didn't take long for Vitaly to post a $7,500 bond, and it also wasn't long before Lily filed a civil suit against her attacker and—
full screen, come on. Okay, on April 15th, 2020, Lily Jensen, plaintiff represented by Daniel D. Dolan II of Dolan, Dombrowski, Rosenblum, Bluestein, LLP, filed a personal injury lawsuit against Vitaly, defendant seeking damages for alleged battery and assault. This case was filed in Dade County Court of Florida. In the complaint, the plaintiff alleged that the defendant is a self-proclaimed YouTuber who has gained a modicum of internet notoriety by posting photos and videos of himself with nude women using drugs, driving expensive cars, and crudely behaving like an above-the-law 2-bit baller. The plaintiff then alleged on or about the early evening of April 12, 2020, the plaintiff was jogging on the 1700 block of Daytona Road in Miami Beach, Florida, when the defendant, without provocation of any kind, jumped out from behind the bushes and punched her from behind, tackled her to the ground while straddling her, savagely punching and beat her mercilessly with a closed fist above the head, face, body, and until her screams for help were heard by neighbors. Okay. In the prayer for relief, the plaintiff requested an award for damages in an amount of excess of $30,000 and punitive damages, as well as costs for litigation. Yeah, Vitaly, you should have... We're going to see what happens. Obviously, he's going to talk about the aftermath here for a minute. Vitaly should have paid all of this. Vitaly should have paid all of this and then some. Again, money does not fix everything, and money was not going to fix the situation, but you just jumped and destroyed a random woman's bodily autonomy. Like, hopefully her life is okay, so I don't want to go that far, and I hope it wasn't. But it's like you deformed her face forever. Because, again, it doesn't matter if you did it intentionally. It does not matter. This is why we don't give drunk drivers leeway. This is why we don't, we may punish them differently versus somebody hitting someone with a car dead on purposely and someone hitting someone with a car drunk. We may punish them differently. They still get fucking punished and we still look down upon them in society. You decided to take way too many drugs, way past the amount that you should have been taking at the age of 28. Not a kid. You're not a kid. You're not a kid. 16 through 19, maybe we go, okay, you're a fucking idiot, you're a fucking moron, but guess what? We're still fucking mad at them for doing what they did, but at least we're kind of like, we can understand how fucking stupid you are because you're young. You're not young. You're 28. You decided to take a shit ton of drugs. You decided to be extremely immature with the drug use you took, and you decided to be a disgusting human and beat someone while under the influence. You're not a good person. You're not. Because if you were a good person, you would be mature. Mature. You didn't grow up. And the only people who are going to continue to watch you is fucking kids. We're going to see the aftermath of this. Hopefully he fucking paid. At the very least. Because I doubt he's even apologetic. But hopefully he fucking paid. Give his half-ass fucking YouTube apology. But this is fucking disgusting.
And his corporation. Because all of this was immediately made public, news spread quickly, and Vitaly watched as his entire online career slipped through his fingers in a matter of days. His brand deals collapsed, his relationship with YouTube was in shambles, and his reputation in the community would never return to where it had once been. Some may think this was the sole incident that prompted his exodus from the internet, but that's not entirely what happened. Vitaly did in fact attempt to promote himself again that October, but if the universe was trying to tell him something, he certainly got the message after a skydiving accident nearly put him 6 feet under. In an attempt to advertise one of his business ventures, which just so happened to be a porn site, Vitaly purchased a canopy that read Vitaly Uncensored and planned to fly it over the city to advertise what was essentially just a Girls Gone Wild knockoff. He was getting pretty desperate financially and was eager to pull off a new stunt, but that eagerness almost physically paralyzed him because he had the canopy rush ordered to him, and when he rush ordered it, he didn't get a chance to confirm whether or not it was the right size. Turns out it was too small. If he had just waited a bit longer and gotten a bigger size, Vitaly probably would have avoided a narrow brush with death. But hey, what do I know? I'm not an avid skydiver, and neither is Vitaly. As he told Austin Zabak in 2023, things seemed to be going alright at first, until they weren't.
Flying this canopy, I'm turning left, it doesn't turn, and I'm like, I have to go. Usually you're supposed to go like this on a parachute and go, woo, you dive. It doesn't do anything. So 5-6 jumps later, I'm flying towards the ground. I'm going so fast and I'm trying to flare. Flare means stop, and you're supposed to fly into the wind to slow you down. There was no wind. The wind just stopped while we're jumping in the air, in the free fall. So I'm flying towards the ground, like 40 miles an hour, stick my legs out thinking I'm gonna slide in the grass, and it just, boom, impact on my butt.
Vitaly essentially free fell from an airplane onto a grass field, with the pain shooting directly up his body as he landed flat on his ass. He ended up cracking his C1 bone in his neck and his L4 near the bottom of his spine. The doctors informed him his bone had shifted to the right, but if it had gone the opposite way and shifted to the left, Vitaly could have very easily been permanently paralyzed from the legs down, or much worse. This is the incident that prompted his sobriety, which he claims to maintain to this day. Vitaly required months of intense physical therapy as he learned how to walk again. As he told Roman Atwood in 2022, this meant he could not work for about 5 months, which landed him in even more dire financial straits. On top of his now mounting medical debt, Vitaly was still embroiled in a civil suit for beating a woman senseless a few months prior.
Why is he in a civil suit? He should have admitted fault. There's no way, bro. You should not be in a civil suit. You should have been admitted fault. Right? You fucked up. Right? You should have took the responsibility of that as a grown man and paid her out. Right? It's like, what are we talking about? Really?
prior. And it didn't help him that YouTube had cracked down on his channel's monetization too. For a while, the only money he made was coming in through Facebook. Then on June 9th, 2021, the suit was finally settled. He was granted a pretrial diversion on July 6th, facing no objection from Lily. Vitaly ended up not being convicted, and literally spent more time in jail for his stupid prank videos than the time he brutally mangled a random woman on the street, so make of that what you will. Vitaly's first official return to the internet happened on July 6, 2022, the 1-year anniversary of settling the suit with Lily. In a 3-minute video posted to Facebook, Vitaly seeks to catch his audience back up to speed on where he's been, and why he stopped uploading videos a few years prior, which he attributes to burnout. I think it was a little bit more than that, but okay.
I'm gonna be real with you. I simply stopped uploading videos because I got burnt out. Before I had fun, and then it became a business and a job.
Shut the fuck up. Go fuck yourself. God, the more I'm sorry, guys. I know if you're new to watching me, this probably sounds depressing. And if you have been watching me for a while, you know that I usually be jokey and stuff like that. It's just, it's hard for me to really take this guy seriously. And it's just, God, he pisses me off so much, right? Because I'm not going to say I relate to that woman at all. I just relate to the fact that someone can just take something from you and not get it back. And I'll give you guys an example of that. I brought this up several times before, but when, like 2 years ago, a year ago, was it a year and a half ago, I think, 2 years, a year and a half ago, someone hit me with their car. Dead on. They were completely in the wrong. It wasn't even a conversation. They were so in the wrong that when I was laying there, blood from my forehead, my leg out of my bone out of my fucking leg, and the cops came, there was not even a question. There was no question. You had other people speaking for me who saw it, and that guy was completely in the wrong. Okay? I got multiple surgeries. I was in so much pain. I had to get skin grafts on my face. That's why, if you guys look at my face, right, you guys can obviously tell. I'll go ahead and, here, we'll make the camera a bit bigger here for you guys to see a beautiful face. My wife still thinks I'm beautiful, even though I'm a little eh. That's why if you guys look right here, the difference between the two here, you can see I had to get skin grafts on my face, right? The funny thing about that, right, is they pulled skin from, I think, my not elbow. I think it was underneath here, or it was under my leg to put on my face. So I had to get skin from other parts of my body to be put on my face. And to this day, I'm not able to sprint. And the doctor told me I may not be able to sprint ever again. Simply because this motherfucker did not know how to drive. But I am a person who can forgive. And I've slowly come to grips with my anger dissipating in place of forgiveness. And I forgave him. You know, I forgave him and I decided to let it go. You know, it made me upset because even with getting a lawyer, you guys think I just got money? I didn't, because the person had no money to get. I go to a lawsuit, he was nothing. The lawyer even said, hey, we can give you like $50,000, which would cover some of the bills that your insurance isn't covering. I'm happy I had insurance. It wasn't great insurance, but it paid a decent amount. It's like, we can give you $50K to cover, like, you know, the amount that your insurance isn't covering, but that's all we can give you. And that $50K came from his insurance company, just a payout for the injury shit, his car insurance company. That's all I could get. That's all I could get. And I was like, damn. Okay, so I decided to get a used car, not even a new car, with that money, pay off some bills, and go to college, because I wasn't able to do that before. Go to college, and now I'm here. I decided to buy a computer, take my wife on a little mini vacation, and we saved up the rest of the money in our savings account for a rainy day fund. And now I'm here where I am, right? But it's just upsetting, and I get upset sometimes thinking about it, that I'm not able to sprint again. And that may not sound like a big deal, but I'm an active guy. I love playing basketball, and I still play to this day. But I loved full court basketball. I can't play that anymore. I'm still fast. I can still run. I can't sprint. And there is a difference. And the shit sucks. And my face, it's always going to look this way. It's always going to look like this. And that shit sucked. For the longest, I wanted to make content as soon as I was done with the accident. But the reason I didn't start making content upwards to 4 months ago is because my face, bro, it took a minute for it to heal like this. Like, it looked terrible. Even when I put on a hat, it still just looked bad. And I was too self-conscious to make videos. So I just didn't do it. So all of that to just say, when someone changes your life that drastically to the point where I can never sprint again and my face will always look like this, they should be willing to pay and be apologetic for what they've done. I'm hoping that the person is apologetic. You know, they have my number. They know where I live. When you get in a car accident, you get information about the person you fucking hit. They have everything about me. They never once came by. They never once sent a letter, nothing like that. Now, maybe they didn't because they didn't know how I would react, or maybe they thought I was suing them, so I was gathering evidence. But it's been so, like I said, 1.5 years, almost 2 years. It's been so long at this point that I feel like at least a letter, hey, I fucked up really bad, I'm sorry. Like, maybe, but I get it. Hey, you don't want to admit fault just in case I pull a lawsuit on you, even though you have no money to give. The lawyer even said, don't do a lawsuit. It's not that you will lose, it's that they will probably just go bankrupt and you won't get any money anyway. So it is what it is. I'm not going to sue you, dude. It's just accepting responsibility and being apologetic for what you've done. You didn't stop making content, Vitaly, because of burnout. First of all, no one wants to fucking hear you say that. A dude that's working 12 hours in a fucking factory is working his ass off. 12 to 18 hours in a factory. He does not want to come home to listen to you say you're burnt out on making YouTube videos, okay? You guys are having a little bit of a different work schedule, and he probably doesn't want to hear you complain. Or a woman that's working 12 to 18 hours on a nursing shift. Like, I'm sorry. There are people working real jobs, doing real things with their lives, and barely getting any sleep to hear you complain about burnout from YouTube videos. But even if that was something you felt, it's not true. The reason you stopped making videos is because no one's going to watch a disgusting person's shit unless they don't know their history. Because I didn't know this until now, and I'm glad we watched this and found out more about this. I didn't know this until now. But even if I didn't know this, people don't want to watch an immature child's bullshit unless they're an immature child. So shut up.
Vitaly announces he's been 7 months sober and apologizes for what drugs and alcohol had done to him.
The fame got to my head. I started abusing drugs and alcohol, traveling the world with beautiful women. You think it's all cool, but at the end, I wasn't really happy. Because of drugs and alcohol, I got into serious legal trouble. I'm so sorry. I was left alone and broken after the incident, and nobody to blame but myself. People that I thought were my friends weren't my friends.
No, they probably were your friends, but your friends are probably not going to stay in your life if you beat someone half to death and ruin their life, at least physically. Because mentally, I'm okay. I got my wife. My life is okay. I'm not even going to say that. My life is good. My life is good. And I love my wife, and my life is good. I don't want to say okay, because I didn't mean like, oh, it could be better. Anything could be better. I mean, my life is good. I'm literally going to Vegas tomorrow. Like, we're going on our honeymoon. We're going to Vegas. It feels amazing, right? We're going to fly on the plane for the first time together. This feels great. And I'm excited. I'm going to take videos for you guys and show you guys my life is good. So mentally, I'm good. Physically, I can't sprint anymore. I got this deformity on my face. It is what it is, but I'm still good. And I still love the life that I have. I'm just saying, with you, dude, you ruined someone's life, and I hope that woman is okay mentally. But physically, you deformed her. That's on you, and that's why your friends are probably not in your life. It has nothing to do with them being fake friends. You can't even take full responsibility what you did. You beat a woman's face in, okay? I'm sorry. People in your life are probably going to disappear after that.
And I just fell into depression. I lost everything because of that. Look what drugs and alcohol did to me. It almost ruined my life.
In this video, we see the beginning of
No. Sorry for the constant pauses. No, he just needs to be called. No. Look what you did to you. Look what you did to you. You did this to your life. Not drugs and alcohol. You.
that I've noticed nearly every time he addresses the assault. He speaks almost solely from a place of me, what this has done to his career, how he lost everything, but he doesn't even acknowledge what it was he did in this video. In general, he very rarely, if ever, mentions Lily. He tends to skirt around how this may have impacted her, and instead focuses on how he is the ultimate victim we need to feel sorry for.
You said that that's not me. I don't do that, right? Like,
yeah, I had an ego death. Yeah, I never lay hands on a woman and stuff. So, you know, next day waking up and label as a woman beater, having people come up to your house and scream that, and just like being insecure all the time. I'm never gonna meet a girl or even have sex with a girl because like if I was so insecure I couldn't talk to any girls, because if I talk to a girl she's gonna go home and Google me and never probably block me.
It's just a little pathetic. It says a little something about his character to me. I don't personally feel like this is how a truly changed, remorseful person would discuss what happened, but his Facebook fans were happy to see him back regardless. Most importantly of all, Vitaly announces here that he is officially returning to content creation, and that he's excited to start making videos for fun again and not for business. It's true that we are on the dawn of a new era in the exhaustive lore of VitalyzdTv, but I don't think anyone could have expected what that era looked like.
Aiden, you're watching this, bro? You tried to get on Ben on Twitch? Oh, so cute. What happened to being a king of Kick? Well, I'll take your spot.
Kick. It's a website, not a very fucking good one, but a website nonetheless. Months after documenting some of his most vile ambassadors, it brings me no joy to inform you that Kick hasn't really changed much at all. Between Jack Doherty almost killing his friend after texting and speeding down a rain-soaked highway in his hideously wrapped McLaren, to Aiden Ross reportedly trying to bribe this guy into IRL streaming Hurricane Milton on an air mattress, Kick's reputation isn't about to claw its way out of the gutter anytime soon. If Aktua can't save them, I'm just not sure anyone can. But the historically scummy atmosphere and notoriously lax regulations also carved out the perfect little ecosystem for a guy like Vitaly to thrive. His very first stream was him making fun of his, at the time, ex-best friend Fusitu.
Dude, Fusi, what the f? I'm scared of this shit.
How do you like the balls?
We could probably talk for hours about Vitaly and Fusi's troubled relationship, but just know it all fell apart a few years back when Fusi publicly accused Vitaly of assaulting an escort in a hotel.
Under 10 minutes of her being in your room, all of a sudden at my door, knocking, screaming, crying. I open the door. This poor woman barges into my room.
Bro, you're trying to tell us about how Vitaly may have committed a heinous crime against a woman. Shocker that Vitaly did that. Oh, God. Sober or not, I'm not shocked that this disgusting human being would do some disgusting fucking shit. But you're trying to tell us this story and you're making it... Why are you making this way? Why do you make it this way? Take some fucking seriousness in the topics that you're talking about. You understand that? I'm a joker. I joke around. I got a soundboard, okay? I got a soundboard myself that I like to play during videos. I like to play random sounds, okay? But it's not time for me to drop 3 big booms when we're talking about something as serious as this. Why don't you talk with some sincerity? Like right now, we were talking about Vitaly. I was telling you guys about how I dealt with some terrible shit that happened to me because of a fucking idiot that was driving. Okay, we talked about that and how people just need to be more apologetic, all right, for the shit and take responsibility for what they've done. We talked about that. But with you, dude, if you're going to talk about these topics like I just did, be serious about it. You know, a joke here and there, whatever, depending on where you place it, maybe. But to talk about, like, an assault, you probably shouldn't be fucking joking or being so just insincere about it. Just feels weird. Again, it feels like you're making content for children. Loud noises, booming music, different filters, different colors. Like, bro, just put the camera up here. Let the people know what happened. If this is what happened, what are we doing?
Holding her close, covering herself, and trying to speak to me in English saying, he's hurting me, he's hurting me. Holding her wrist where there were marks from how tight you were holding her. Next thing I know, Vitaly, butt-ass naked, with a condom hanging off of himself, turns the corner, comes to me, spit flying out of his mouth, saying, this bitch won't let me put it in her ass. She's a whore. Give me my money back. This bitch won't let me f her. You screamed that in my face.
I actually haven't seen many people bringing this up since it all happened so long ago, but it was once covered on Drama Alert, with Vitaly's response essentially being that he didn't do it, and that actually Fousey sleeps with prostitutes too, and that he's a hypocrite. What's even weirder is that after all this time, the two contemporaries seem to have actually rekindled their friendship in some capacity, which means Fousey was either lying or is fine being friends with a guy who he claims assaulted a woman in front of him, which would not be out of character for good old Vitaly. These guys are both extremely unreliable narrators though, and I find it incredibly frustrating that we have such little information on the situation, but either way, Vitaly put on his best Fousey impression to make his grand return to the public sphere in late 2023, creating some more viral moments by doing what he does best, pranking the unsuspected masses. And by pranking, I mean sexually harassing and threatening strangers.
Excuse me, sir.
Hey. Oh.
How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Would you mind if I eat your booty?
I'm sorry. Sorry, this isn't a plausible conversation.
It's not?
No, I'm sorry.
Why? You're wearing a pink shirt, so I thought it's like welcome to Miami.
No, I guess I should be more careful. I'm not too aware of the symbolism.
Well, this is Miami. Be careful, because you're gonna have to sleep with one eye open tonight.
Yeah, Vitaly the goat is back! I mean, seriously, who the hell is this content even for? You know, you f***ed up when even the Drama Alert Twitter account is asking if you're the content king or just doing harassment. I'm pretty sure it's that second one.
Social media, that garbage. I'm here for one reason and one reason only. To pick up black girls like you and eat them out like there's no tomorrow.
Yep, this is great content. Amazing content. One-of-a-kind content, guys. Don't we love it? Don't we love this content? It's so funny. It's so hilarious. I know it. God, like, I'm laughing so much that I forget to laugh sometimes. Like, a 30-year-old man just harassing people in public. This is just excellent content. Amazing.
Judging by these clips, it seems Vitaly is permanently stuck in 2016 mode. Unfortunately for him though, society has kind of moved past the need for obnoxious, untalented pickup artists being racist to random people in public. One quick glance at the replies seemed to indicate a general distaste for this rehashing of what may have once worked a decade prior. But Vitaly wasn't about to let himself be forgotten so easily, which meant he wasn't about to take his foot off the gas going into 2024.
But I like hot Cheetos. I like hot Cheetos.
Hello, sir. Dimitri, sir.
Vitaly kicked off the year with a generational epic win in the form of having all his legal debt heroically wiped out by the honorable Steve Will Do It. Of course, such a selfless act of kindness only came after relentless begging on Vitaly's end. A lot of his streams from the very beginning of this year featured the big man pleading with people richer than him that if they could just lend him a measly $140,000, his legal woes would be a thing of the past. The bank would unfreeze his assets, and he could finally move forward from that horrific tragedy that happened to him in 2020. Remember, guys, he is the victim after all, not the woman he brutally manhandled. It couldn't be her.
My account's been lost since May. Why? I own 140 G's, so if you want to pay me that,
you
I'll
owe
give
money?
you 140K, and they locked my account because I missed, it was 10K a month payments, and I couldn't afford 1 month, and I was like, I'm not gonna pay, maybe one day I come have a big check, and I'll pay it. Nah, they just surprised me. I woke up in Europe with a negative $1 million.
Yeah, they lock your shit.
They locked my shit. I'm not putting it on the spot, you can say fuck off, but more than ask. 140K, December I give you 200K back. And I'll pay them, and my bank gets unlocked. And you will get clipped, and you will be a fucking live hero.
I know it can be hard.
Bro, it can be hard to pay for your mistakes. It can be difficult. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, then everybody would be angels. In order for you to be truly remorseful and truly apologetic, you gotta take that shit, get up, and go, damn, it's time for me to pay the piper, or in this case, pay my victim back. And pay for the shit that I've done. But instead, the only thing you've done is just cry about how this is affecting your life. No shit is affecting your life. How do you think it's affecting hers? Your face is fine. You didn't break any bones. You're absolutely fine. Okay? My lower body got the brunt of my fucking pain. And I still have like, the upper half of my face deformed. Because of a car accident. I couldn't imagine a person actually taking their bare fist and going straight to their another person's skull over and over and over again. Like, you're not thinking about that. Why don't you think about that? It's so hard for me to go out and get a date. It's so hard for me to be with another woman because they'll look me up and they'll see so-and-so happen to me. How about her? How do you think she's going through shit? It may be hard for her to get a date because people may look at her and go, oh, and feel pity or feel bad. Not even call her ugly or anything. Just feel pity, feel bad. And she doesn't want that. But she has that happening to her. You don't even, like, have any empathy of what she may be going through. Only, oh, I'm going through pain. Oh, such pain for me. Woe me. You're so disgusting, bro. It's a good thing you got locked up in the Philippines. That's a good thing. I'm not one for, like, punitive justice. It's like, yeah, go get him. Like, fuck him. I don't like this person. Let's punish them. I'm not one for that. But goddamn, all the mistakes that you've made, it's been a long time coming for this.
Hard for Vitaly to actually pay attention to other people sometimes. Immediately after Steve handed our friend 140 G's in cash, Vitaly began rejoicing, thanking God for the money right in front of the man who actually gave him the money.
Well, here's your 140,000. You're out of debt. You can get your bank accounts back. There you go.
Bro.
We just won it.
Bro. God is good, dude. I'm about to faint. I can't breathe. God is good, bro.
It's not like this was a small favor either. Before Steve stepped in, Vitaly was apparently living out of his car, relying on nothing but stream donations to keep him fed, blaming the lawsuit entirely for the undesirable position he found himself in. Now, of course, he wouldn't let such miserable conditions hinder any awesome content creation, though. Vitaly has a lot to offer the world, doesn't he? Who wouldn't want to watch a Russian immigrant terrorize Mexican immigrants for content?
Tomorrow we're renting a truck, and we're going to Home Depot to pick up Mexicans, pretend I need to work on my house, and we're gonna take them to the immigration center.
Yeah, he kind of just pulled a Steven Crowder here by saying he was going to trick a group of undocumented immigrants looking for work and bring them to ICE.
You guys have papers? I need papers. Do you have papers? He's gonna call ICE, you motherfuckers.
Having these desperate men compete against each other on his stream by making them jump over a fake border wall.
All right, guys, this is a competition. We got 4 Mexicans from Home Depot, and while they're waiting for our podcast guest, we put them to a challenge. Whoever hops it first gets $100. Uno, dos, tres, go! Okay, he hopped the border before. Come on, got it, I got you. Come on, you're almost there. Immigración, pew, 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 pew. What happened to the other 2?
The fat guy not gonna make it.
Then he had the nerve to turn around and try to moralize it.
To all my fellow Mexicans out there who watches, who really thought I was gonna take you guys to immigration, joke's on you. We know how to go viral. I knew that was gonna piss off a lot of people. And you guys talked about it, and look what's happening now. Nothing. We brought him for the day. We're gonna lace him up, feed him, buy him some fresh clothes. And we brought him to hang out with us.
Dude, you're just exploiting people desperate for a job. Admit that at the very least, instead of grandstanding so transparently. But reducing undocumented work...
I said that I was gonna be a piece of shit. I was only kind of a piece of shit. That's on you guys for falling for that. Got you good.
To his own personal court jesters and forcing other immigrants to eat hot chips at the southern border wouldn't exactly earn Vitaly the kind of widespread acclaim he had hoped for. Who would have thought? But before long, he would find a new wave of content to carry him to new prominence and, in turn, the front page of World Star. Vitaly and Aiden Ross, a match made in the fiery pits of hell, managed to go viral in January of this year for catching an alleged child predator and walking him on a dog leash in front of a Target as a sort of public humiliation tactic, I think. The obviously shocking and over-the-top nature of this video immediately spurred skepticism in the comments. People were left wondering whether or not the stunt was actually real and just how legal any of it was. In the clip, Vitaly says he'll let the suspect walk free without calling the police after he forces him to pick up a chew toy with his mouth.
We're gonna let you go. You're a lucky one. Good boy. You're my good boy. He needs to
This is what I'm talking about. Vitaly does not give a fuck about anything. This person here probably into underage individuals and wanted to commit a crime against underage people. That's what he wanted to do. But instead of like calling the police, turning in whatever information you may have on this guy, trying to make sure that the police kind of get it on their radar so they're able to keep track of this guy to see if he tries to do anything and what he does and where he may go, you decide to make content with the dude and make him pick up a dog toy and be super immature because you don't care. That's what I'm talking about. He's not empathetic. He doesn't care. He doesn't look at the fact like this is a disgusted human being here. Probably because Vitaly is disgusting himself in his own right. But he doesn't look at the fact that this is a disgusting fucking person. Why don't I go ahead and make sure everything this guy told me gets turned into the police so the police can make do with him if they can. But I'm going to do my part and make sure that I turn in whatever I have and not interfere with any investigation that could go down. Nope. How about I put a leash around his neck, make him pick up some dog toys, post it on the internet, and call it a day? Like, you're so immature. It's just so sad. It's so sad.
Little water. You know what I would do? I would kill you, you motherfucker. I'm sure you're enjoying this time, but you will never fucking do this again.
I will never do this again, ever in my life. Really, I don't want any trouble. I was afraid.
Didn't you hear me the first time? I got you. Dumbass motherfucker. All right, let's go. Come on.
But is that really the best way to go about bringing a child predator to justice? I think we can all agree child predators are bad. So if you catch one, you should ideally hand them over to the relevant...
I got a better take than that. Fucking ready for this? I believe that all crime is bad. Hold on. Oh, fuck. Talking about my soundboard. I'm not even ready. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Not the sound I wanted to use. Okay. We ready? Okay. Let's go back. We're not going to edit it out. Just pretend I didn't say that. I believe all crime is bad. Thank you. Oh, yes, thank you.
authorities to ensure they can't escape and end up harming any more children. I mean, that's what this is about, right? It is that, right? Making sure these people get what they deserve is a huge responsibility, one that should be left up to the professionals and not a power-hungry belligerent cosplaying as a Russian hitman and his illiterate friend.
Ultra oh my god, ultra analytist.
Love you. I'm getting And this wasn't just a one-off stream, as Vitaly would continue this pedo hunting shtick well into March when he would break his previous streaming record by a mile with the help of Mickey Mace, a fellow influencer and ex-friend of Vitaly's who we will be revisiting a little later.
I want to slice their throat. Last time I shaved their heads. Oh God.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ.
You can shoot them or no?
This is not Twitch.
We can shoot them or
Oh my God, bro. No, bro, please don't.
The bottom line is that Vitaly had finally found a new arena to dominate. Streaming almost non-stop for the first half of May, Vitaly would call upon a rotating cast of renowned celebrities and streamers to join him on his noble quest to rid the streets of child predators through extreme force and humiliation. Esteemed guests included the likes of Ty Dolla $ign, Bobby Shmurda, Myron Gaines, Charleston White, Sneeko, and Lil Pump. With the roster so packed, I don't think I have to tell you that chaos was sure to ensue. The highlights of the first episode include Lil Pimp following a suspected child predator around a park singing, "You're such a fucking pedo, I hate it."
You're such a fucking pedo, I hate it!
The rapper is also seen getting up in another suspect's face, smashing his phone onto the concrete, with Vitaly telling the man they'll leave without calling the cops if he deep throats the mic on camera, which is, of course, exactly what happens.
Put this in the mouth. Show me how you're gonna suck his dick.
No,
Put this in your mouth. Put this in your fucking mouth. Buddy. Show me.
What's even worse about this, right? Because you guys who are watching this, I want you to truly... This is where nuance comes in. I hope you guys are able to be mature. If you're watching me, especially this far, you guys are all mature. Especially my 182 subscribers. I love you. Or 181. Sorry. I'm not up there yet. But one thing you guys need to understand, this is where nuance comes in. These are terrible people. This guy right here, bad person. Really bad person. He tried to meet with an underage person. He tried to meet with a child. He tried to do disgusting acts, whatever the case may be. 100% bad person. No one is disregarding that. What should be disregarded is how these two are approaching that. I don't care if you like Lil Pump. I don't care if you like these celebrities. Because if you are a prosecutor and you try to bring a case against this guy, what is going to be brought up? This guy will have a lawyer, public defender or not. And what is the lawyer going to say? Well, they approached him, they harassed him, they broke his phone, they made him deep throat a mic, they recorded it, and they put it all on social media before even bringing it to the cops. So can we even trust that the evidence pulled forward is real evidence? Can we even trust that the evidence that they gathered is even from my client? Or was he just doing all this because he was fearful with two strangers approaching him? You guys see where I'm going with this? This is immature. Investigations aren't done this way, okay? A judge can throw out an investigation. A judge can throw out a case simply just how the prosecution was able to gather their evidence and whether or not they gathered it in the right way. How the hell you think a case like this is going to go? This is what I'm talking about. If Vitaly actually cared about this, he actually cared about keeping these people off the streets, and he actually cared about making sure that they weren't able to hurt actual children, then he probably would have been way more mature on how he went about it. He probably would have understood that I got this evidence, why don't I turn it into the police? But he's not going to do that. He wants to make content. That's it. That's all he cares about is content. He doesn't care about it, and he keeps telling people he's not going to call the cops. Mainly because he probably knows he's doing illegal shit in the first place himself, Vitaly. But even if he felt like what he did was justified, and I know that we probably all feel. Like, if you're a disgusting piece of shit, yeah, being humiliated, you deserve that. If you're trying to do some disgusting shit to people younger than you and you're a grown-ass person, yeah, you deserve to be humiliated. Who cares? But it's not about humiliation. Oh my God, I'm Aiden Ross now. Jesus Christ. But it's not about that. It's about the fact, right, that if you want to make sure that these people are not able to cause harm or destroy the lives of people who are underage, you want to make sure that they're able to stay off the streets and get the justice that they deserve, you probably should go to the police and turn in whatever information that you may have. Not sit here and try to make as much content about it and get the funnies and the LOLs because it's hilarious. It doesn't do anything because this person, maybe they stop. Maybe you got this person to stop. Or maybe you didn't. You just got this person to be more careful in the future on who they talk to and how they talk to them. And you get them to look for the red flags. Look for the different things that they're saying in the messages towards them. You get what I'm saying? It's about maturity. It's about being an adult, realizing that this person's a terrible person and we need to make sure that they get locked up. But not doing it in a way that's going to be dumb and get yourself in trouble and get the investigation thrown out.
This f***ing microphone in your f***ing mouth. Deep throw the microphone and we'll go.
Póntelo en la boca y nos vamos.
There we go.
Y nos llamamos a la policía, pero póntelo todo en la boca. Ajá, yeah. Más.
If the cops were in fact called, we certainly don't see it here. And that's probably because Vitaly and his band of cronies can be heard threatening to set the man on fire and wanting to run him over with the car. Which I'm sorry to say, both of those things are against the law.
And if we find you, te quemo vivo, que I'm gonna light you on fire. Sigue. All right, good job.
But it does make for some viral moments. The targets being suspected predators opens the door for Vitaly to make the perfect excuse to unleash his violent nature without much criticism. If you point out that Vitaly and High Dollar Sign shaving a man's head and hurling a smoke grenade in his direction as he runs away isn't the most effective way to combat child sex abuse, you must be a pedo sympathizer. Or even worse, maybe you're a pedo too.
Like hitting the dude and shit like that. I think it's still L because it's like you're like a vigilante, you're like the judge, jury, executioner, you do it on stream. I think it's just an odd thing to do. I don't like it. I don't endorse it. I think it's stupid.
I don't know why XQC protects pedophiles.
It's crazy when XQC is giving you a take that is pretty, I'm going to be honest with you guys, very lukewarm. What a lukewarm take. You're going out there and being this vigilante guy, and you are destroying cases that prosecutors are going to be able to bring forth in front of a judge. And making it so these child predators are able to go out and understand what they did wrong in the chats and know moving forward how to prevent that from happening in the future and know how to talk to somebody. And if they suspect someone of being a catcher like you guys are, they're able to move away from that conversation and be smarter about how they approach these things and how they approach people who are underage. Like, yeah, very smart take. Very smart take. You didn't call the cops. So now they got embarrassed. They got on the internet. It is what it is. But moving forward, they'll wait a week. They'll wait a month. They'll wait a couple. And they're right back at it again, baby, because they didn't get stopped. Because you guys are out here. Funny enough, you guys are protecting predators. That's what you guys are doing. Because you're going out there and you're giving them like an hour of humiliation at the best. At the best. You're giving them 1 hour. 1 hour of the worst day of their lives. And then after a week, a month, a year, no one fucking remembers. You didn't go to the police. You didn't get an investigation even open. No one's saying that they have to be charged and thrown in jail. But get them questioned. Get them in front of a detective. Get them searched. None of that happened. They go home. They get embarrassed. They move on after a year. And they're right back to the disgusting antics that they were up to before. Except they're more careful this time. You guys are the real protectors of these guys. That's you. Because you guys don't actually care about stopping these guys. Because if you did, you would do it the right way, not the way that's going to give you the most views on the internet.
Why don't you guys go ask XQC why he protects pedophiles? I want to know why he does too. I don't know.
This is Nikki's opinion, by the way.
That's not my opinion. It's a fact. He said this on a live yesterday. That's a fact. Once you do that, you can never take that back.
But one has to wonder what is actually being accomplished when Vitaly pisses into a water bottle and forces an alleged child predator to drink it live on stream.
Drink it. Chug it. Chug my piss. It's good, huh?
Don't spit.
You will never do this again, right? I'm sure. Do you give it?
I don't want it.
He looks like you're f***ing bitch. No. You're gonna throw it away.
No. I was asking where to put.
It's hot, huh? You enjoying this?
Is this somehow more productive than what the police would be doing? I mean, come on, I know the cops aren't always the most effective, but there is just something so uniquely depraved about this entire picture to me. And it's not like Vitaly doesn't understand this. He does get the police involved sometimes. It's rare, but it does happen. One suspect actually did end up getting arrested after trying to meet up with a 15-year-old boy and was instead met with Vitaly threatening him with a fucking alligator.
You ready to wrestle a gator? You ready?
There have also been situations where random people will come up to someone that Vitaly is confronting and just punch them in the face, knocking them out stone cold on the sidewalk, so Vitaly has to call an ambulance. The entire internet thought this guy was dead until Vitaly assured us he was okay and in the hospital, where he apparently got arrested, I think. But you could have just avoided that by having the police involved from the start. Then there are plenty of other instances where they catch someone like Space Jam producer Herschel Weingrod trying to meet up with a teenager, and it goes nowhere thanks to Vitaly's incompetence. Sure, it made a couple headlines immediately afterwards, but never led to any actual arrest or consequence.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh! Oh, no way! No way! You're telling me. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe you. You're telling me the way that Vitaly went about this didn't cause the police to have an investigation that was worth bringing in front of a judge? Boo! Lies! Lies! Vitaly is goated. Vitaly is the GOAT, and he's fucking going out there and doing goated stuff. And if you think he's not, it's because you're actually a defender of these guys. Boo! Boo! Fake news, fake article, fake news.
For Weingrod. In fact, it almost never leads to any arrest. It's just bizarre. If you're really committed to punishing as many predators as possible, you wouldn't willingly let so many of them off the hook after you've gotten enough content out of them. There are numerous examples of Vitaly luring a predator onto his tour bus only to let them right back out onto the streets after they eat a hot chip on camera.
Do I call the cops, Chad, or shave his head? What do I do? You down for your head to be shaved? Cleaning up the streets. All right, brother. You're good to go. Never do this again.
It's like, as long as the stream is entertaining enough, that's all that matters. I just can't help but think this is more of an outlet for Vitaly to make money, being as unhinged as ever, than a good faith attempt to protect children. But that didn't matter to Kick viewers. With this first wave of streams being such a massive hit, Vitaly would begin to plan an even more elaborate second season, a 10-day marathon of nothing but pedo catching in July, filled to the brim with impressive stunts, an all-star lineup of guests, and a much higher production value, even if Vitaly ended up firing the crew during the first episode.
Production, everyone's fucking fired. We spent fucking $2 million on this for this garbage Taylor Swift concert. Taylor my fucking dick. Fuck everybody. Whoever needs to stay here, I'm taking over. I'm sorry I killed. I'm sorry fucking steak. I'm gonna promise you, I'm gonna deliver you the best fucking show ever. Come here, you fucking pedophile. You're coming with me. Fuck everybody, bro. Let's get it.
Vitaly had apparently planned and choreographed an entire spectacle in which he'd kick off the season by jumping out of a helicopter in full Joker makeup. But because of technical issues, there ended up being no audio.
It up. All right, chat. Yeah, make sure.
The most shocking part of any of this is that Kick somehow thought they could sink $2.5 million into Vitaly and get a return on their investment. Though the budget for this season did allow for a brand new sick CGI opening in which Vitaly hops out of bed, jumps into a Lambo, and goes gambling like the really stable and secure individual he is, signaling to me that there's a good chance Stake is paying Vitaly a ridiculous amount of money to gamble on Kick, both websites being owned by the same people. This is just my own little theory. I haven't seen Vitaly confirm any of that, but it would explain why he's glued to a gambling app in between humiliating what he claims are child predators. Instances of Vitaly covering a supposed pedo in pasta sauce and forcing him to kiss his feet while apologizing profusely.
Oh. Kiss my feet. Thank you so much. Kiss my feet. Good boy.
Are juxtaposed.
Again, it is not about the fact that these people who are accused of this disgusting act against underage people are getting embarrassed and getting made fun of and getting teased and getting ripped. It's the fact that if you actually cared about bringing justice and making sure they don't do anything, right, you would make sure that they go to the authorities. I just don't understand how. I know that you guys listening probably understand it. I just don't get how he doesn't understand it. Like, this is the guy that will see a crime happening in progress, and instead of getting any type of information, and instead of turning anything into the police, he will upload a video on YouTube. Police don't find out about it until a week and a half later, and at that point, the guy may be completely out of state. Why don't you just do what's best for society and help get these people off the streets. Not do what's best for your channel and make as much content about it as you can.
With the most banal, mindless footage of him hunched over in his decked-out tour bus, waiting for his decoys to bring him the next suspect.
All right, let's play a little blackjack.
Is this all he...
Let me see that other bag too.
Is this it? So when he is not sitting here, okay, destroying any type of case for prosecutors to bring forward to a judge for disgusting, depraved human beings, he's just gambling in front of, let's be honest, a bunch of kids, and that's all he's doing, just sitting there gambling?
Kyle donated $5. Vitaly, I love you, bro, but I am exceeding fully all love, keep it up.
I'm getting fucking raped in this blackjack.
And believe me, they pulled out all the stops to promote this thing too. I had someone I know send me a picture of this billboard she saw near Hollywood ahead of its debut. Kick was really trying to sell this thing to a mainstream audience, and to anyone who may not have known what to expect going into it, I'm sure this was a little bit more than a jarring first sight.
He said he's down for the good hair.
Move.
Go. I think no. All right, come here.
This is actually from the second Lil Pump stream. I guess the first appearance was so well received, Vitaly just had to bring it back for round 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
No. Hold on. Can't show papers.
Yeah.
De puta.
Let me make it.
Part 2! And I do want to focus on this episode for a moment here, because I think it's a good sample of what you can get across the series as a whole. About an hour in, the guys are told by a decoy that a new apparent predator is on his way to the Airbnb, but instead of calling the police, Vitaly and Lil Pump fantasize about doing this.
Let's teabag him. Let's
Let's
make him eat our ass.
Yeah.
No homo.
Nigga, I got a hairy ass, bro.
After some quick gambling, where Vitaly is sure to remind his audience to play responsibly,
We're going back on steak. I'm a fucking addict. Guys, use my code Vitaly, bro. You can win a lot of money, but I want you guys to play responsibly.
they begin going after rapper Quavo for apparently ditching an appearance on Vitaly's stream for a rally with Kamala Harris.
Oh, by the way, let's talk about Quavo, bro. Quavo didn't show up on my stream, but I'm so happy he didn't because he endorsed Kamala Harris. And he's talking about gun violence. The motherfucker raps all about killing people and drugs. I was a fan until you endorsed Kamala. Not a fan anymore. Sorry, Quavo.
It is hard to imagine why he'd want to do that. Why meet up with a sitting vice president of the United States when you could just hang out with this guy?
I know everything in my childhood. I fucked squirrels and goats. I remember those days. They weren't pretty days, but hey, an option is an option. Were you abused as a minor?
As soon as the alleged predator arrives, Vitaly bursts through the closet door literal seconds before he kisses the decoy, which if this isn't staged and we are dealing with a real predator here, kind of seems like you put that girl in a vulnerable position for a little too long, but what do I know?
What the fuck is wrong with Vitaly, bro? Like, the one thing with Chris Hansen shit got criticized. Keep that in mind. Chris Hansen shit got criticized because if you guys are not aware, back when Chris Hansen was doing the stings, I can't remember exactly what happened. You can just look this up. I think it happened in Texas. They were going to bring someone in and they let them go. They ran away and they ended up taking their own life. And at that point, Chris Hansen's show got taken down. Now it got re-upped back a few years ago. But ever since then, Chris Hansen only and exclusively works with police. It's just, in the early days, Chris Hansen would go in there, talk to them, tell them what happened. And sometimes they would just go. They wouldn't always work with cops. But somebody ended up leaving. They ended up taking their life. And hey, I'm not going to sit here and say he should or shouldn't have done that. Not going to say that. All I'm going to say is I ain't crying about it. That's all I'm going to say. But as far as the show goes, though, you can see why it doesn't matter if we feel bad for the guy or not. Why it would probably be bad, considering if, we don't want people going around trying to take the jobs of the police officers, prosecutors, whatever the case may be. Whether we can agree the system's probably not the best. It could be fixed, whatever, yada, 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 right? Doesn't mean we want to sit here and make an environment where it's like, instead of people fixing the situation, well, we can say that situation was fixed. Nonetheless, though, there were people that left Chris Hansen's show that didn't get arrested. Now, he did start working with cops, and it did get better, But Chris Hansen's show made sure they worked with cops. Chris Hansen made sure to decoy. If the person tried to get too close, Chris Hansen would just come out immediately. This, again, viral moments of just busting through the door like he's Batman. It's just all about the meme. It's all about the views. It's not about actually stopping a horrific action because he does not care.
My 2 years? Yeah. You can take your pants off. You can kiss my cheek. Yeah.
I'll be back.
The guy starts crying and the chat starts spamming that it looks fake. When asked why he messaged an underage girl in the first place, he says he was horny as shit, which is just insane.
Why'd you come here to sleep with a 15-year-old girl, bro? Come on, you better than that, Poppy. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm straight up like I was horny as shit.
The Vin Dragon, John Grogan, an influencer lie detector specialist who will be popping in and out throughout the stream, but it's important to note that he is notorious in the polygraph community. He's been accused of malpractice and is said to have received an honorary polygraph training certificate from the American College of Forensic Studies in 2004, the owner of which stated that the certificate was never meant to qualify recipients as polygraph examiners. And that's not to mention that actual lie detectors have become significantly more criticized over the past few years, with the National Research Council determining that there is no evidence to suggest they're effective at all. They measure stress more than anything else, and I think
they don't even measure if you're lying. I've seen studies about this. That's right. I'm a fucking nerd. That's right. That's why I know so much about crime. That's why I know so much about fucking laws, prosecutors, shit like that. Believe it or not, I wanted to be a lawyer. That's why I know a lot about crime and a lot of shit about this field. This is my field. I'm not saying this predator shit. I just know a decent amount about that, but not as much as I know about law in general. It's not my field. But this whole like crime shit is my field. I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger. Saw how much it cost to go to school. Really became inundated in it, but it's just one of those things that's not going to happen. Not because, I don't think I could do it. I can't afford to do that, bro. I'm going to college, but I can't afford to become a lawyer. Because going to get your degree is one thing, but becoming a lawyer, it does matter where you go. It does. It just does. And it's not something I think I can do simply just because I can't afford it. But I digress, right? One of the things I looked into was polygraphs. I was very interested. And there's been several people who failed just the opening questions of polygraphs because they try to make sure they get you with opening questions. What's your name? How old are you? To make sure that you're ready to go as far as the polygraph goes. That's a tester, though. There's several people that fail that. They'll be like, my name is Trey. And they're like, what is your name? Trey. That's wrong. Because they're calibrating the fucking shit. But then they go on to ask questions as far as the calibration goes, right? You can get past the calibration. It's like, we calibrated, right? But they just assume that the calibration is, you're telling me your name, so therefore we're calibrated, we're ready to go. And you could be like, okay, were you at work Tuesday? Every single person could say you're at work Tuesday at 3 p.m. But they already calibrated it, right? So they only calibrated it to the point of your stress level. It does monitor your stress. So now, even though every single person in the world can say you were there at 3 p.m., you say, yes, I was. And it peaks. It's like, oh, you must be lying, when it's not true. It can't measure a lie. You can't measure a lie. That isn't possible. The only thing we can do is try to measure your stress to see if your stress equals you lying. Because you're going to be more stressed if you're lying. That is true, but it doesn't mean you're always lying if you're stressed. So yeah, lie detectors are not the best way to determine if someone's lying to you.
It's safe to assume that being ambushed by an amped-up streamer, his team of cameramen and crew members, a polygraph examiner, and a group of random people screaming, guilty, 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 in your face must be a pretty stressful environment.
Have you ever had sex with a 15-year-old?
Right. That's not. We find the defendant
Guilty. Do you have a small penis?
Yes. But we find him guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
It is.
Oh yeah, this is so mature. This is so mature. I'm so happy we're doing this.
A complete joke to say that an honest lie detector test could be completed in that kind of heavily sensationalized setting. And that's ignoring the fact that lie detectors are inadmissible in court for a reason. Yet it becomes such a prominent staple in Vitaly's stream because, well, this is about entertainment. This guy knows, he's trying not to laugh. Chat keeps telling them to call the cops, but because they're too busy screaming Lil Pump lyrics,
I hate it.
Vitaly orders the perp to eat a hot chip and informs the man he's free to go at any time. He then calmly and politely assures the audience that none of this is fake.
I'm tired of everybody fucking saying it's a fucking actor. Did we pay you to be here? No, sir. Did we pay you to be here? No. Shut the fuck up. I'm the fucking realest live streamer there's out there. I'm fucking risking my life, my security, my whole team. We're fucking real. Whoever wants to fucking hate because I'm back on top can suck my fucking big uncircumcised dick, bitch.
Vitaly literally gives these guys the option to eat a hot chip or go to jail.
Yo, can I have a hot chip? Give him a hot chip and he's good to go. You want to eat a hot chip? By the way, you're free to go at any time. Your charges are communication-related charges, indecent exposure, because you sent a dick pic, sexting with a minor, solicitation of a minor, online predation, physical interaction and attempted crimes, grooming, attempted sexual assault, child incitement, and conspiracy. You want to, I know it hurts, right? You know what you're looking at? 35 to 40. 35 to 40. So a hot chip or prison?
Hot chip or 40 years in prison. Make your fucking choice! Get the fuck out of here, bro, if you're not gonna eat the chip.
I mean, I'm just floored, man. You can't brag about the number of people you've gotten arrested when that number could be higher if you hadn't let so many others off the hook. It's great to say you've gotten some people arrested, but what about everyone else you release back into the wild?
Chan, who the f is the best episode? Who the f is the best live streamer, bro? We're the team. We're cleaning up the streets.
I just watched you dump him back onto the streets. What are you doing?
We're cleaning up the streets. One out of every 10, we clean up those streets. 1 out of every 10. You know, 10% hit rate, cleaning up them damn streets. Let's go.
Talking about. He explains his reasoning for not calling the police, which includes him saying he doesn't want to go to jail himself and lose citizenship.
And the reason we didn't call the cops, because imagine the cops come, be like, sir, why do you look like a chicken wing? Well, they cut my hair. Oh, Pump, you're about to release some music, but we're going to take you to jail. We don't want Pump to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I got my citizenship on the line.
He adds that he didn't force these suspects to do anything, that it is an entrapment, and ends the diatribe with a W segment.
I made him do anything. Nobody kept him entrapment. We told him to go at any time, and the W segment. Next one, we'll shave the asshole.
But before long, we're back to the races, and it's honestly pretty remarkable how many suspected pedos he's able to catch in one night. But because this next guy is Asian, Vitaly sees a green light to let the racism fly.
Rice gum, what happened, bro? I feel so bad for your rice gum. I'm so sorry.
He can be heard out of frame wishing the perp and the decoy would remove their pants and make out with each other.
Nice, take it off, take it off, take it off. Take it off. Easy going.
Okay, like this is, we're pushing. Jesus Christ.
Undress, impressed. Take it off. I am getting horny over this job. This is amazing. This is better than looking for to watch the big boy.
Yeah, so that's great. I'm not.
Why, bro? Why say that? I get it. The decoy's of age, but why would you even think that? The whole point is they're supposed to be a decoy. Why would that be turning you on? And I get it, he's joking, but again, this is proving the point that you don't care about this. You just care about the views. That's it.
Not sure if Chris Hansen ever said he was getting horny from watching his decoys interact with a pedophile. Maybe that's just a Vitaly thing. He then jumps out of hiding and dials the racism up to a new extreme, accusing this dude of bringing us COVID, that he's gonna make us sushi.
Well, you brought coronavirus into this country and around the world, as you know. Yeah? And you're about to make me some fucking sushi. You understand me?
He then forces the guy to call up his parents, to which he asks whether or not his dad is Jackie Chan. I mean, literally, what does this do at all?
Hold on, let you talk to your mom, my husband. Hold on. Just a moment.
Sounds good, mommy. Hi, Jackie Chan.
After it's all said and done, he hits him with a breakaway chair and lets him go home like nothing happened. I mean, I'm not sure how anyone can watch this and think that Vitaly is handling these guys with even an ounce of tact. My man can't even be bothered to keep his own staff safe from his brain-dead guests. At one point, Lil Pump just starts assaulting who he thinks is a pedo, but is actually one of Vitaly's stunt guys.
What you get for touching little boys, huh?
5 minutes.
That's what you want to do, right? That's what you want to do, huh, buddy?
You just started punching a random dude on set. That's crazy for me to say on set, but I digress. That's crazy. Holy fuck.
Huh? Bitch ass.
This is our stunt guy, bro.
Oh. Are you serious? Oh my god.
I mean, it's just a circus.
Trump is the fucking man.
Oh shit. Look. Ow.
Go.
Ow.
I thought this fucking shit was right there. Oh.
With everything considered, it's not surprising that many have written it off as fake. Mickey Mace, who I mentioned earlier, went on a podcast back in June and alleged that one perpetrator during the second episode of season 1 had been a paid actor, though he provided no evidence of this and would go on to appear in later Vitaly streams regardless. Also, the supposed partner of another suspect appeared to be mic'd up during a different sting, which was brought up by fellow YouTuber Oompaville in his video.
Dior. Yo. Wait, you work for yourself? No.
Is it key to the bathroom?
What's up?
I got a date here, so I don't know if she might come back.
Oh, it's unlocked. Okay.
So that's definitely something to consider too. But I also wonder, if it is all fake, would that make what Vitaly is doing better or worse?
I'm going live November 1st. We're catching predators again. We're cleaning up the streets, and we also have 4 new show concepts that you guys are going to be excited. Whoever lives in Burbank, we're looking for 2 more locations to clean up the streets and catch the pedos. For a fun fact, we actually partner up with Burbank PD to arrest these psychos. Anyways, apply right here.
As I was finishing up this video, Vitaly announced he'd be returning to Kick for the first time since August, teasing a whole variety of streams he intends to produce, like catching cheaters, catching homewreckers, and of course, catching predators. But this time, to his credit, he did say he would be teaming up with Burbank PD, and I think that can—
Oh, finally. I guess.
Actually be good, dare I say. It's a little too late. He should have partnered with the police all the way back at the beginning of the year when he started this thing, but I hope he can fulfill his goal of locking up as many child predators as possible. I think everyone on the planet can agree that we need less predators on our streets. I just don't see how catching and releasing them after you've brutalized them for your stream really achieves that goal. Other predator catchers say that repeat offenders happen all the time, and the best option is to let the legal system run its course. Otherwise, these creeps are just going to be more careful next time not to get caught. These issues are incredibly sensitive, and there's a reason they should—
It's almost like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Holy fuck.
Be handled by those qualified for it. I don't mind Vitaly and his crew finding predators and bringing them to the appropriate authorities. I'm just not sure all of the other stuff is completely helpful. And that's just assuming what he's doing is real. He's been accused of faking his content since he burst onto the YouTube scene over a decade ago with his prank videos. But then that brings up another question. If it is all fake, who in their right mind would approve of being cast as a pedophile in front of tens of thousands of unsuspecting viewers? Who would let Vitaly beat them with breakaway furniture and shave their heads and humiliate them for content? Maybe I'm underestimating just how desperate people can get, but I can't help but find the whole thing bizarre and difficult to watch. One thing I know for sure though is that no matter where Vitaly goes from here, controversy will follow close behind. He is an inherently volatile figure. As much as I hope his activities end up locking up as many legitimate predators as possible, I can't help but worry that his unorthodox methods jeopardize the cause. Because at this rate, the only thing Vitaly is looking to catch may just be another lawsuit. Also, don't forget to subscribe, join Delete Me down below, and follow my stupid Twitter account. Okay, that's enough. Bye-bye.
Let's put a peanut butter on my balls and let's have a threesome with the dog.
Yeah.
Another one's by the dust.
Man. Okay, so that was a good video. I liked it. I liked the creator. I don't like Vitaly. He just made me realize he's way more of a piece of shit than I even thought he was. He's a disgusting, despicable fucking human being, and he deserves nothing. He deserves to be locked up, and he deserves to get everything he's getting. I'm glad we were able to update ourselves more about Vitaly, and we were able to feel better about him being in jail. I already felt good because he was a nuisance, and I think that the prankster shit can be annoying and needs to be shut down. People need to grow up. But now I'm at the point where it's like, damn, this is more than just prankster shit. This is you being disgusting. So, nonetheless, I need to head out, bro. I gotta go. I got a lot of shit I gotta do. I gotta take a flight tomorrow. We're going to Vegas. This is gonna be my last video that I make for this week. And then the rest of the week, you guys are gonna get pre-recorded content. If you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything you want me to react to, and I will do it, by the way, even if I can't do it this week. Pay attention to my YouTube shorts. I'll be uploading random shorts of me and my wife in Vegas, just random shit like that. And I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you guys enjoy my commentary, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye, pieces, deuces, love you. Stay safe, stay smart, and talk to you later.